Well, hello, my little potato, you beautiful soul. You know, I always like to start off with I love you. So I love you. Um, man, that sleeping pill had me in its grip. I could not wake up. I woke up and I thought, what time is it? And it was 1:33, and here I am, about 10 and a, almost, it's not quite 10 and a half left. It is a little bit past. It's 10, a little bit past 10 hours later. And here I am sending you this message. Why? So I can go back to sleep. So I can work on getting up at a semi decent time. I don't know why I've been so, well, okay, that's not true. I know why I've been so tired because I haven't really been sleeping that much. So I'm going to work on sleeping, not sleeping. I'm going to sleep at a decent time. Hopefully I can wake up before 9, which sounds so bad, but like if your body needs the rest, your body needs the rest, and maybe I don't judge myself for that. But I woke up at 1:30, like 1:30. I went downstairs eventually. I made myself lunch thinking that we are going to go to dinner tonight, and then that didn't happen. So I made myself lunch. And then I came back upstairs and I was going to do something. And then my mom called to say, hey, I need you to come with me to go pick up your dad's car because they went to Beaumont again today. They have some sort of inspection. So that's why they've been going every day. And then I went and picked up the car. I came home. I Oh, and I painted. I painted, and my newest painting's so pretty. I'm quite proud of it. And then, um, like I wrote my, I wrote my, I painted. I wrote a thank you note. Oh, my dad sent like one of his church members sent him home with like food. So, my sister and I like split it. It was some sort of noodle dish. It was interesting because she used Japanese noodles like udon, and then with like Korean flavors. Because I was like tasting it, and I'm like, there's sesame oil in here. There's I don't know, soy sauce. No, not soy sauce, but there was definitely sesame oil, wasabi. Oh, yeah, because I don't really like wasabi, and there was a little bit of wasabi in there. And then, what else was there? I tried calling my brother today because my friend wants me to come visit them in September, and I called my brother to try and get dates, but he didn't answer me. He called him the other day too, and he's still not answering me. I'm like, hello. But yeah, painted. I had my snack, and then I wrote a thank you note that I went to go send to my friend, and I went to go to the post office to mail it, and then no, not the post office. I went to the mailbox to mail it, and then I looked at it, and I said, "Oh no, I forgot to put the return address." So then I had to come home, and on the way home, I was like, "Oh my goodness, I have to go to the restroom." So then I was like running, not running, but like kind of rushing to come back. But it's kind of hard to rush when you have to go to the bathroom, and then So, anyways, came inside, addressed the letter, went back out, mailed it, and then a little while later, I was so glad that I had because it rained and it rained super hard. I could hear it. It was a really bad thunderstorm. Um, and then I did my homework and I turned it in, and then I worked on this practice of journaling my life in 3 years from now. And I so like part of journaling my life in 3 years from now, people are like, oh, and I say no. And like I like to be specific about things. So I said, okay, where am I waking? Because one of the questions was, where did you wake up? Things like that. And so I dreamt that I woke up in Chicago, but I don't live there. I'm visiting. I dated it. I'm like Thursday, July 5th, 2029, because in July 25th, 2029, I need to know what day of the week that is, right? Because you're planning a week on a month. If that's a Monday, that's one thing. If it's a Tuesday, it's another. If it's a Friday or a Saturday, it's totally different. So I had to check the vibe. And I understand that most people don't do that. They would just write, July 5th. But I prefer to know, like, where am I? What am I doing? Why am I there? So, and I also took this quiz, And it's like the quiz was, and it makes sense that even though I was doing like, so before I did this journaling practice, I had taken this quiz that my mentor and I had talked about. And the question was, are you more of a visionary, or are you more of someone who's like kind of the operations? Like they take the idea and they bring it to fruition. And I'm 74 points the visionary and 72 points the integrator. So I'm basically the same. And so I'm not more visionary than, but I've said that before, is that I'm the best kind of creative. So I'm the creative that comes up with logistics. So I don't just say, hey, like part of that was me looking up, like, what day is July 5th in 2029, you know? And so I wrote down and I said, okay, well, where am I staying? And at first I wanted to stay at this one hotel that's being built. And then I thought, I don't really want to stay there. So then I decided to say, oh, the LaSalle, right? So now I'm staying at the LaSalle. And so what do I do when I'm like at the LaSalle? And I look at all the rooms. What rooms am I? I'm in the presidential suite at the LaSalle in Chicago. Why? Because, and then I looked it up and I thought, oh my goodness, it's quiet. It's actually built above a bank. So it's a very, and then the lobby itself is like on the 21st floor. So you have to go up first. And so I was like, oh, perfect. Because I'm going to want quiet, you know, and privacy and things like that. And so I really enjoyed that. And why am I in the presidential suite? Because well, hello. I'm speaking, and what is it? I'm speaking at Soldier Field. I'm speaking at Soldier Field, and so I'm going to be speaking at Soldier Field, and so that's why I'm in. And you know, and then I've been to Chicago, and it was the weekend. It was the July 5th weekend, so I took the week to enjoy the city and all of that. So I'm like planned out. I wrote that into my schedule. Um, and then actually, that's where we are this week. And then Mabel lives with us, of course, and she's treated very well, and everyone loves her. And um, that we actually live in New York City. My husband and I actually live in New York City, and I looked up a building that we live in, right? And what neighborhood, what building. I didn't say what apartment number. I just said the building. I said it was move-in ready. All we did was move the furniture in, all of that. And that to me helps me ground. And some people are more, they just let it be. And I do have the feeling, but I kind of like a little bit of specificity. So I went and did that. So that's kind of like part of my creative side. And then I said, this is what I do. These are the things. How do I end my day? All of those questions. And I wrote it out. It was only supposed to be a page. It was like a page and a half. It's fine. Um, and then I wrote that out. And it took me a little bit longer because squirrel, but also because at first I was looking at one hotel and then I was like, oh, and then I kept looking and kept looking. And then finally I said, oh, I like that, because I don't know enough about Chicago. So I'm like, which venues have the largest, so I assumed Soldier Field had the largest um, seating. However, I checked Rate Field. I checked where the White Sox play. But Rate Field is where the White Sox play. I checked the United Center, and I also checked Soldier Field. And Soldier Field had like the most number of people, so I picked Soldier Field. The hotel's also like 2 miles from there, so that was like another thing. So like I don't just pick, I'm like, oh, I pick logistics, like very much. I'm That's probably it's actually probably a really good thing, but a thing that most people don't look at. And I published my second vlog of the day, and my parents don't come home tonight because they're going to be in Beaumont tomorrow, so that means I have a car tomorrow, so that's good. And then tomorrow I have the call. Whoops. I have a call at 12:50, and then I have another call at 4 p.m. And then I'm gonna go to the gym at 6 p.m. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. I do need to advertise. Okay, so I need to advertise. Okay. And I do need to advertise because there's two what's it called, things that I'm doing this week. And so I said I was going to advertise this week my coloring books with the two different offers. So the 4 p.m. because I had the call at 12:50, I have another call at 4 p.m., I have the gym at 6 p.m., and I need to advertise. And I think those are my priorities for tomorrow. And then Tuesday I have a call at 11:30. So let me I'm going to go ahead and book my classes for tomorrow if the app will let me. Someday, when they will. Actually, now's a good time to find out if there is classes, right? So, what else is there? Oh, there's no class tomorrow. I can't go to the noon class because I have a call at 12:50. But I could go to the 5 o'clock class. Can I? No, I can't. Because the 5 o'clock class, I can't go to the gym tomorrow. Okay, so no gym because I have calls tomorrow, 12:50 and 4. So I'm just gonna take it easy tomorrow, I guess. Um, Good to know. So this is why it's good to know to look. And then what else is there? Um, I do need to go to the grocery store. I'm like need broccoli, I need broccoli, cherries. I think that's about it for right now. Um, and I'm gonna probably read the book that I got, because one of the books that I got, uh, it was through the library. Finally got approved today. Where's the book? I screenshot it. It's called The Strawberry Patch Pancake House. It's really cute. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's really like I don't have a lot, and so I'm kind of working on kind of taking it easy. Just giving my body the rest and the recovery it needs. I don't know from what you know what, from I'm gonna say my rest because last week I didn't give my body that much rest. And so this week I'm gonna work on giving my body more rest, like actually sleeping when I'm supposed to, or at least sleeping and getting, hours of sleep instead of like no sleep or only a few hours. But yeah, that was my day. I didn't really feel like I did too much, but maybe I did more than I thought I did. You know how that goes. But as always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to me and hear about my day and the things that I do to sometimes just to make my life a little bit better. Because it's one thing that I said is my life got better and it didn't happen all at once. It happened slowly. And sometimes That's the best kind. So, thank you again for listening. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.